It's been 20 years since Georgia Tucker Elementary was closed as a school in 1999, but the Grand Old Lady, as the building is known, has a new life and is, well, grand again. While other communities continue to tear down historic schools and buildings, the Monroe community tries to restore as many abandoned buildings as possible, believing that new is not always better, and preservation means progress, which is a vital component to any economic and community strategy. These efforts do more than simply preserve structures. It's about saving a sense of place. As such, Georgia Tucker School is a very important part of the heritage of Monroe, since so many people who have grown up in Monroe had earlier generations of their family who attended there.
My father, my brother, my two sisters, we all went to Georgia Tucker. And there were just so many people, here that were so interested in saving Georgia Tucker, such a magnificent structure with so much history.
Shortly after the turn of the century, Monroe officials realized the need for a school on the north side of town. They secured funds to build 6 rooms of the school. Later, an election was held to give taxpayers a voice on whether bonds should be issued for completion of the school, and the bond issue was overwhelmingly passed to finish the building. Contractor Frank Nasling was chosen to build the school, which is one of the last remaining examples of Mediterranean Revival architecture in northern Louisiana. This style was popular in the 1920s and 30s, evolving from a renewed interest in Renaissance palaces dating from the 16th century. The characteristics of this style of building include a rectangular floor plan and massive symmetry, primary facades, tile roofs, arches, and keystones. The first phase of construction began in 1920 on land donated by Colonel Frank P. Stubbs in honor of his mother, Georgia Tucker Stubbs. The school opened on January 9, 1922, and soon became the pride of Monroe. Miss Myrtle Rogers was the first principal.
I just think of that time, Myrtle Rogers, and the fact that my daddy went there, and my brother, my sisters, and all our friends, and it was just such innocent times back then. And Myrtle Rogers, we would go in that big auditorium, and she had her little black dress on with her little lace collar and her little black high-top shoes or lace-up shoes, and we would sing Sunny Goldenrod.
The school's long and winding road included a major event which involved Rear Admiral Richard Byrd, who led expeditions to the North and South Poles, making him a national hero for which he was awarded the Medal of Honor in March of 1927. In 1931, while on an expedition tour in Monroe, Byrd's lead sled dog from one of his expeditions to the North Pole, named Unalaska, was killed in a traffic accident. Although Byrd wanted his dog to be buried on the grounds of the American Legion Hall in Forsyth Park, he was forced to move his husky to another gravesite because the dog wasn't considered a veteran. The Georgia Tucker school children raised the money necessary to have Unalaska's body moved to their school and a memorial marker for his grave. They held a burial ceremony for the dog. The Alaskan Husky then became known as the school's mascot. And who would have guessed that it was this event that allowed for the building's inclusion in a historical district, which increased the access to the state and federal tax breaks. These tax breaks were necessary to help meet the increased cost of restoring the historic structure. The building functioned as a school until 1999. The city school board had planned to renovate the building and make it a central office, but those plans changed, leaving the building vacant and vandalized.
We could not believe it. Windows busted out. It just was awful looking. The doors, you could just tell it had been abandoned. So we just started investigating, called the school board, got a group together. They took us to look at it, and we were just absolutely appalled.
Disturbed by the building's rapid deterioration, a small committee of former students formed a nonprofit group in 2004 to try to restore the building. For years, developers shied away from the project. Although the building looked like a total ruin, it still had good bones. There were many close calls, but sooner or later, the interested parties backed out until now.
Well, it was just such a beautiful facility, and I think they had discussed it for years, and several people had talked to them about purchasing this property. He just felt like that it was just a natural fit.
Former students and visitors are all amazed at the beautiful restoration of the building, particularly the auditorium and stage, which show off key design elements of its past glory.
We've had a lot of interest in the community. A lot of people have come and wanted a tour and just see what's become of the building and the renovations.
It's just absolutely magnificent. They didn't miss one turn. Everything was restored, everything was hand done. It just couldn't have been done any finer. And the main thing is that the grand old lady is saved. She's perfection, and she'll be preserved for generations to come.
And just as it was years ago when Georgia Tucker was first built, there are now plans to build an expansion to the facility in the future.
We had a little bit of money left in our foundation, and we're going to dedicate a beautiful fountain. It's called La Brisa, and she's beautiful. It stands for everything wonderful in this old world.
So nearly a century after being built, Georgia Tucker School, now known as the Gardens of Georgia Tucker, becomes a caretaker to precious links to Monroe's past, as a grand old lady once more.